Part 1. The Arrival. In the middle of a quiet night, Earth's skies lit up like never before. People across continents gazed upward, capturing photos and videos, unsure whether they were witnessing a natural phenomenon or something otherworldly. But within minutes, all speculations ceased. A signal, unmistakably alien, broadcast across every screen, every radio, and every frequency available to humanity. The message was clear. People of Earth, we come with knowledge that will redefine your understanding of existence. We come in peace, to share the secrets of the universe. The United Nations quickly assembled an emergency council, and leaders from across the world met virtually, scrambling to make sense of the situation. Dr. Elena Reyes, a leading astrophysicist, was among the select scientists invited to participate in the council's deliberations. With her tireless dedication to the study of interstellar life and a lifelong passion for unraveling cosmic mysteries, she was a natural choice to lead Earth's scientific response. Dr. Reyes had always been captivated by the thought that humanity might not be alone, yet even she was unprepared for the enormity of what was unfolding. As the council debated, a series of coded instructions emerged from the signal, pointing to an isolated desert location where the visitors would land. A team, including Dr. Reyes, was swiftly dispatched, and within hours, they arrived at the location, greeted only by an eerie silence that thickened with anticipation. As dawn approached, a colossal spacecraft began its descent, its metallic surface gleaming in the early light. Unlike any earthly vessel, it floated gently above the ground, its hum resonating like a deep, celestial song. Then, as if in acknowledgement of the team's presence, a ramp extended, and a group of alien beings descended. They were humanoid, but their features were ethereal, translucent skin, eyes that seemed to shimmer with galaxies, and a calm, almost serene presence. Their leader, an alien named Varesh, stepped forward, speaking in a voice that seemed to bypass language barriers, resonating directly with the minds of those present. "We are the Lumerians," Varesh began, his voice filled with a wisdom that transcended age. "For millennia, we have observed humanity, waiting for the moment when your curiosity and compassion would be ready for what we have to offer. That moment has arrived." The world held its breath as Varesh continued, his words revealing glimpses of their knowledge, secrets that promised to unveil the mysteries of life, death, time, and the very fabric of the universe. But there was a condition. "We will share our knowledge, but only if humanity chooses unity over division, wisdom over power. This knowledge must serve the greater good, or it will be withdrawn." As the first meeting concluded, the team returned to their nations, each grappling with the magnitude of Varesh's offer. Dr. Reyes, more than anyone, felt the weight of their responsibility. She knew this knowledge could redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. But she also feared how some might seek to exploit it. The world's leaders now faced a monumental choice: could humanity truly unite, setting aside its differences for the promise of enlightenment? Or would the ancient, destructive patterns of power and control squander this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Part 2. The Gift and the Burden. A week after the Lumerians' arrival, the world's most powerful leaders, thinkers, and influencers convened in an unprecedented summit, deliberating whether humanity could fulfill the conditions set by the visitors. Despite ideological clashes, the weight of possibility forced a sense of unity never before seen. The pressure was on, and Dr. Reyes found herself in a pivotal role, often acting as a mediator between warring factions. As the summit reached a tentative agreement, Varesh and his team appeared once more, acknowledging humanity's willingness to strive toward unity, however imperfectly. In response, they unveiled the first of their gifts: the knowledge of energy manipulation. They shared a blueprint for a clean, limitless energy source, one that could eradicate the need for fossil fuels and end energy scarcity. The technology was shared with leading scientists, who, after weeks of testing, confirmed its authenticity. For the first time in generations, the world's most pressing issues, hunger, poverty, and disease, seemed solvable. Yet, with this gift came a haunting revelation. During one of their sessions with Varesh, Dr. Reyes inquired why the Lumerians had chosen now to reveal themselves. "It is not coincidence," Varesh replied solemnly. "Your species stands on the cusp of either extraordinary growth or total collapse. We have watched countless civilizations in the universe reach this point. Some rise to wisdom, others fall to ruin. The Lumerians explained that the universe held its own natural balance, an equilibrium that could not be disrupted without consequences. They had witnessed planets turn into wastelands and stars extinguished due to the unchecked greed and short-sightedness of civilizations that came before humanity. To them, knowledge was both a gift and a burden, a test that revealed the true nature of a society. Varesh then issued a solemn warning. The universe is vast, and it is full of life, life that does not look kindly upon those who upset its balance. There are forces in the cosmos that punish recklessness. Dr. Reyes felt a chill down her spine. The weight of their choices loomed heavy on her mind, and doubts about humanity's readiness gnawed at her. She remembered the great minds who had preached unity and wisdom, only to be ignored. Would humanity, finally standing at the crossroads, heed the wisdom of the Lumerians, or would old patterns and ego prevail? In private, Dr. Reyes confided in Varesh, hoping to glean more about these universal forces. But the Lumerian leader merely smiled, his gaze unreadable. That knowledge is not ours to give, Dr. Reyes. It is something you must discover on your own. With the energy blueprint now circulating globally, humanity experienced its first taste of the potential transformation. However, whispers of discontent, paranoia, and skepticism also began to rise. Some factions saw the Lumerians as deceivers, believing the technology was a means to weaken humanity rather than empower it. As tensions simmered, Dr. Reyes worked tirelessly, rallying those who believed in the vision of unity and persuading skeptics. But even as she fought for peace, an undercurrent of fear and mistrust threatened to unravel everything. Part 3: The Final Revelation. Months passed, and while the world saw unparalleled advancements, tensions bubbled beneath the surface. Dr. Reyes and her allies had done their best to mediate, but they knew the world was on a precarious edge. Rumors of factions working in secrecy to weaponize the new energy technology troubled her deeply, and she wondered if humanity had learned anything at all. In a final, climactic meeting, Varesh summoned Dr. Reyes and her team to an undisclosed location aboard their ship. As they ascended through the spacecraft's corridors, the walls around them seemed to dissolve, revealing vast stretches of stars, nebulas, and distant galaxies. They stood in awe, surrounded by the universe itself, feeling both infinitesimally small and profoundly connected. Varesh began to speak, his words weighted with both sorrow and hope. You have made progress, and yet, there is resistance, a refusal among some to let go of fear and division. If humanity is to survive, it must evolve. And so, we offer you one final gift, a glimpse into the origin field. At his words, a soft hum filled the air, and before Dr. Reyes knew it, she was transported to a vision unlike any other. She saw the universe's birth in a burst of light and energy, witnessed galaxies coalesce, stars ignite, and life spring forth on countless worlds. She saw civilizations rise, prosper, and fall, each one reaching the same crossroads humanity now faced. In this vision, she felt the weight of every soul, the hope of every civilization, and the tragedy of their downfalls. And then, she saw a future, a path where humanity thrived, where Earth became a beacon in the cosmos, guiding others toward wisdom and compassion. But she also glimpsed a darker path, one where human greed led to self-destruction, where Earth's beauty was scarred, and its people were forgotten by the universe. When she returned to the present, Dr. Reyes was trembling, her heart racing. The vision had been a gift, yes, but also a profound warning. Varesh placed a hand on her shoulder, his gaze understanding. Humanity's fate is not sealed, drive. Reyes, your species has the power to choose. We have given you all that we can. The rest is up to you. Back on Earth, Dr. Reyes poured herself into her work with renewed vigor, rallying others around the vision of a united future. She shared her experience, and while some dismissed it, others embraced it, inspired by the dream of a peaceful, thriving Earth. Yet, she knew the journey would be long and that every choice, every action, would determine whether humanity could rise to its potential. In the years that followed, the Lumerians continued to observe from afar, watching as humanity grappled with its greatest challenge. They knew that the outcome was uncertain, that humanity's fate teetered on the edge. But in Dr. Reyes, they had found a spark, a single human who dared to dream of something greater, someone who carried the weight of the universe's secrets and the hope of her people. And so, humanity's story continued, not as a foregone conclusion, but as a testament to the power of choice, resilience, and the fragile beauty of existence itself. Chapter 4: The Trials of Progress. The Lumerians had departed, leaving humanity to navigate its newfound path with the vision of unity, or self-destruction, etched into Dr. Elena Reyes's memory. The weight of the knowledge was both a gift and an immense responsibility, and as Earth's nations sought to implement the alien technology, cracks in the facade of unity began to appear. 6 months after the Lumerians' departure, the world was abuzz with new projects. Cities began to gleam with sustainable energy sources, and once polluted rivers ran clear. Farming advancements solved food scarcity in many regions, and countries on every continent celebrated as infrastructures evolved almost overnight. Yet, with these miracles came unintended consequences. Section 1. The Council's Divide. Dr. Reyes, now an advisor to the United Nations, noticed how the Lumerians' gift was beginning to spark a silent war. The Council, once unified in its excitement, had fractured into factions. Some countries pushed for rapid implementation of the technology across every sector. Others, wary of dependency on a technology they barely understood, cautioned restraint. Fears of a society too reliant on foreign powers, alien or otherwise, clouded the hearts of many. The heated debate came to a head in a global summit held in Geneva. Representatives from over 100 nations met in a sprawling hall, filled with the world's most powerful figures. Dr. Reyes, exhausted but resolute, took the podium to mediate. The crowd's murmurs fell silent as her voice, earnest and impassioned, echoed through the chamber. We stand at a threshold where every action we take defines not only our present but our future. The Lumerians chose us, seeing a potential in humanity even when we doubted it ourselves. This gift isn't just technology, it's a test. A test of whether we can honor the principles of unity we pledged to uphold. For a moment, the room was still. Dr. Reyes's words hung in the air, resonating with both leaders and delegates, but the silence quickly gave way to argument. One delegate, a staunch representative from an energy-dependent nation, rose to respond. Dr. Reyes, while your vision is noble, how can we trust that this technology will remain in our control? We don't fully understand its intricacies, and that leaves us vulnerable. We cannot hand over the reins of our societies to something we barely grasp. The exchange continued for hours. But no conclusion was reached. By nightfall, factions grew more entrenched, and though the summit was meant to foster collaboration, it only deepened the divisions. Watching the council members argue, Dr. Reyes felt the weight of her earlier vision. The path to prosperity was lined with treacherous choices. Section 2. The Rogue Scientist. Amidst the council's disarray, a scientist named Dr. Marcus Chan, who had once worked alongside Dr. Reyes, had grown disillusioned. Where Dr. Reyes saw hope, Chan saw a dangerous dependency. Haunted by the idea of humanity losing its autonomy, he began secret research on weaponizing the Lumerian technology, viewing it as a way to protect Earth should the Lumerians, or any other alien race, ever pose a threat. Chan's work, however, was not unnoticed. He was soon approached by government officials from a powerful nation who quietly sanctioned his research, giving him a covert lab and a team of specialists to accelerate the project. To them, Chan was a patriot, a visionary willing to do what others couldn't. As months passed, Chan's group made breakthroughs, developing a powerful energy-based weapon, capable of manipulating the alien technology. To him, this wasn't a betrayal but a precaution, a means to defend humanity's sovereignty. But the repercussions of his actions became evident one fateful evening. During a weapons test deep within the Arctic, the energy source destabilized, triggering a massive explosion. The fallout was felt miles away, leaving scars on the frozen landscape, visible even from space. The test had exposed humanity's darkest ambitions and caught the attention of the Lumerians, who had been watching from afar. Dr. Reyes was among the first to learn of the incident. Heartbroken by Chan's actions, she knew the consequences would be far-reaching. She struggled to reconcile the Chan she knew, a brilliant mind once dedicated to the betterment of humanity, with the man he had become. But she couldn't afford to dwell. The fallout was too great, and she knew the Lumerians would return. Section 3. The Lumerians return. True to her fears, the Lumerians reappeared just days after the explosion, their ships once again descending from the skies. This time, their arrival was met with a mixture of awe and trepidation. The once celestial beings now bore a stern demeanor, their gaze steady and unyielding. Dr. Reyes was summoned to an audience with Varesh, who spoke to her with an intensity that left no room for doubt. Humanity was given a gift, a bridge to a brighter future. Yet, instead of nurturing it, some among you seek to pervert it for violence and control. She felt her throat tighten. Varesh, this was the work of a few, not a reflection of all of humanity. Most of us want peace. But that is the nature of choice, is it not? Varesh responded, his voice both sorrowful and sharp. The few who seek power often pull many along their path, even those who resist. Dr. Reyes felt the gravity of his words. She knew that humanity's infighting, its lust for control, had put everything at risk. Varesh, sensing her anguish, softened. We did not expect perfection, Dr. Reyes. We too have seen the tumult of progress. But we need assurance that humanity is committed to evolving beyond its past. He extended his hand, revealing a small, crystalline device. This is a second gift, but it is not the same as the first. It will help you restore harmony, but it must be used with wisdom. If abused, it will be the last gift we ever offer. With a deep breath, Dr. Reyes accepted the device, feeling a sense of dread mixed with hope. The crystalline shard pulsed with energy, and she could feel its power resonating through her. Upon returning to Earth, she gathered her allies, scientists, and leaders from across the world, sharing the Lumerians' message. Together, they examined the device, which emitted signals that realigned and stabilized the energy fields from the Lumerian technology, neutralizing attempts at weaponization. Chan's rogue faction was subdued, and the world saw the folly of its destructive path. Dr. Reyes hoped this was the turning point, the moment humanity finally recognized the fragility of its place in the cosmos. Section 4, Seeds of Wisdom. As months turned into years, humanity worked tirelessly to rebuild the trust it had nearly shattered. New schools and institutions emerged, dedicated to teaching the Lumerians lessons of unity and empathy. Children grew up learning that the universe was not a resource to conquer but a mystery to respect and cherish. Dr. Reyes, now in her later years, watched with cautious optimism. She had spent her life fighting for humanity's enlightenment, and while scars from past mistakes remained, the world was moving forward, however haltingly, toward a better future. One day, while walking through a quiet garden she had helped establish, Dr. Reyes received a message from Varesh. His voice, warm and familiar, echoed in her mind. Dr. Reyes, humanity has learned much since we last spoke. You have earned our trust once more. And as you continue your journey, remember, the universe is always watching, and it is both kinder and harsher than you know. The message ended, but Dr. Reyes felt no fear, only a sense of peace. For the first time, she knew that humanity had not only received the secrets of the universe but had begun to understand them. And as Earth continued its journey into the stars, it carried with it the knowledge, the lessons, and the cautionary tales of the Lumerians, guardians, guides, and friends from beyond the stars. Final chapter, The Legacy of the Lumerians. Years had passed since the Lumerians last communicated with Dr. Elena Reyes, and in that time, the world had evolved. The scars left by humanity's struggle with the alien technology had mostly healed, and Earth was in a period of unprecedented prosperity. The Lumerian energy had transformed every industry, society had stabilized, and people across the globe lived in harmony, guided by the wisdom imparted by the Lumerians. But with progress came new questions, and whispers of an even greater mystery began to emerge. Section 1, The Forgotten Worlds. Dr. Reyes, now an elderly figure revered as the mother of modern Earth, continued her life's work, mentoring the next generation of scientists and explorers. She had lived through Earth's darkest and brightest moments, and her experiences had shaped her into a cautious optimist. Despite her age, she remained sharp, her curiosity as strong as ever. One evening, she received an encrypted message from an unknown source. It contained only a single line. The Lumerians are not the only guardians. The words sent a chill through her, but she couldn't ignore them. She'd long suspected that the Lumerians were part of something greater, part of an ancient network of civilizations bound by universal laws and hidden wisdom. She knew she would not rest until she found the truth. She assembled a small team of trusted scientists, including her protege, Dr. Amir Patel, a brilliant astrophysicist who shared her fascination with extraterrestrial life. Together, they pored over old transmissions, studying the Lumerians' technology, hoping to decode the hidden message. Their research led them to clues, references to a mysterious sector of the galaxy known as the Forgotten Worlds. a place so ancient and distant that it barely registered in Earth's star maps. After months of preparation, Dr. Reyes and her team prepared for their final mission, a journey into the Forgotten Worlds, a place where, legend claimed, the deepest mysteries of the universe lay hidden. Section 2, The Celestial Archive. The journey took them to the edge of the Milky Way, far beyond the reach of human technology and into uncharted space. As they traveled, the team encountered strange phenomena, nebulae that pulsed with inexplicable energy, star systems where time seemed to bend, and planets that shimmered with colors beyond human comprehension. At last, they reached a vast structure floating in the void, an ancient relic of unimaginable size, shaped like a grand library and pulsating with a soft, otherworldly light. They named it the Celestial Archive. The Lumerians, it seemed, were but one of many civilizations who had contributed to this monument, each adding to its vast collection of knowledge. The team entered cautiously, feeling the weight of ages in the air around them. The hallways were lined with glowing symbols, languages long forgotten and preserved in the archive's memory. As they walked further, holograms of ancient beings from countless worlds flickered into existence, sharing their histories, triumphs, and tragedies in an endless course of knowledge. But among these memories were darker tales, civilizations that had risen and fallen, species that had unlocked forbidden powers and faced extinction as a result. Dr. Reyes felt a chill as she passed these records, reminders of how close humanity had come to repeating these mistakes. Finally, they reached the center of the archive, where a vast crystalline sphere hovered, pulsing with information. Varesh's image appeared, serene yet somber. "Dr. Reyes," he greeted her. "You have traveled far and proven humanity's worth. This archive holds the collective wisdom of countless civilizations. With it, humanity could reach heights even we have not imagined. But beware, the universe is a delicate balance. Knowledge is power, but it is also a responsibility." Varesh extended a hand, and as Dr. Reyes reached out, a surge of memories flooded her mind. Visions of other worlds, advanced technologies, alien cultures, and the secrets of space and time. She saw the origins of life, the formation of galaxies, and a path forward that Earth might take. She also saw the cost of failure, the extinction of worlds that had abused such knowledge. When the vision ended, she was left with a profound understanding of the risks and the rewards. Humanity could thrive, but only if it used this knowledge wisely. She knew that once they left the archive, there would be no turning back. Section 3, The Final Decision. Returning to Earth, Dr. Reyes and her team became reluctant custodians of the archive's secrets. Knowing that this knowledge could change the course of history, they faced a final decision: to reveal all they had learned to humanity or keep certain aspects hidden to protect Earth from the dangers of unrestrained power. Dr. Patel argued passionately for transparency. "Humanity has matured, Elena. We deserve to know our place in the universe, to understand the vastness beyond us." But Reyes was haunted by the visions of fallen civilizations. She worried that even one misstep could lead to humanity's downfall. "Emir, the archive's knowledge is not just a gift, it's a burden. Are we truly ready to handle it?" After days of deliberation, they reached a compromise. They would share some of the archive's discoveries, advances in medicine, environmental technology, and interstellar travel, but they would keep the knowledge of weaponry, time manipulation, and other potentially dangerous technologies hidden. It was a decision they knew would be controversial, but one they believed was necessary to safeguard humanity. At a global summit, Dr. Reyes presented humanity with the most wondrous and constructive findings from the archive, framing it as a call to responsibility and unity. "The universe is not ours to dominate but to explore and cherish. This knowledge is a privilege and a test of our wisdom. Let us honor the legacy of those who came before by choosing compassion over conquest, humility over hubris." The world listened. For once, there was no applause, only a profound silence as humanity collectively realized the depth of its responsibility. Section 4, The Path Forward. Years later, humanity thrived as it had never before. Earth's nations had grown closer, united by a vision of stewardship and progress. Humanity now had colonies on distant planets, exploring the stars with reverence and curiosity. They had become, as Varesh had hoped, a civilization of peace and wisdom, bearing the archive's knowledge with humility. On her final day, Dr. Reyes sat in a quiet garden overlooking the ocean, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. She had dedicated her life to guiding humanity, and though the journey had been fraught with challenges, she felt hope for the future. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a familiar presence appeared beside her. It was Varesh, his ethereal form shimmering in the twilight. "You have done well, Elena," he said, his voice carrying the warmth of old friendship. "Humanity has chosen the right path. And you have played your part beautifully." Dr. Reyes smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude. "Thank you, Varesh, for believing in us, even when we didn't believe in ourselves." Varesh nodded, looking out at the horizon. "The universe is a grand tapestry, and every choice, every act of kindness and wisdom, adds to its beauty. Humanity has become a worthy part of it. Farewell, Dr. Reyes. Your legacy will endure, among the stars and within the hearts of those you have inspired." With that, Varesh faded, leaving Dr. Reyes alone. But she felt no sadness, only a deep peace, knowing that humanity's journey was just beginning. And as she watched the first stars of the night appear, she knew that somewhere, the Lumerians were watching, proud of the species that had finally understood the true meaning of wisdom. The end.